Why don't you like this announcement?
Well, Michael, there are already 472 medicines in Australia that are either critically short or just completely unavailable. And we all know, because either we're frontline pharmacists or we use our local community pharmacy, that each month when our patients come in, unfortunately we have to swap them brands, or each month when patients come in we have to ring their doctor to put them on an alternative medicine. So I'm all for a cost of living relief and a cost of living measure, but this unfortunately is just smoke and mirrors. If you don't have the medicine in stock, Michael, how do you give double nothing? Double nothing's still nothing.
But you're talking about swapping brands. You're talking about potentially putting some customers onto generic medicines, the same as brand medicines. What's wrong with that?
No, we're all for, making sure that you can save a dollar. But unfortunately, the medicines aren't just one brand that's unavailable. The entire medicine is completely unavailable. So, you've already seen, I think Ozempic is one of the ones that's commonly, talked about a lot on TV and radio at the moment, which can be used for weight loss and can also be used for diabetes. And we've got millions of Australians on a waiting list for it. And they want to make that same supply problem with this a supply problem for your everyday medication, whether that's your heart or blood pressure medication, whether that's for your diabetes, whether that's for your mental health. So, don't believe everything you read, mate, because we'd love to be able to fill everything that's on your doctor's prescription, but we can't order it. And pharmacists around Australia are putting their monthly order in. They might try and order, 24 boxes of your blood pressure medication. The order will arrive and there'll be 3 or 4 in there. And so that's the bit we're already struggling with. So we're trying to ration, we're trying to make sure that you have enough day to day, week to week. So it sounds great in theory to get a couple of months at a time, but instead of saying, we're going to have a chat to your doctor, I think we're going to have to start telling people they're going to have to ask their local MP what they do with their prescription they can't get dispensed. It's just silly.
How many of the 320 medicines affected by this announcement are experiencing supply shortages?
About 40%. So we've been calling now for a year for out-of-pocket expenses for Australians to be reduced. We've been calling for a year now to lower how much you have to pay at the community pharmacy for your medicine, because we all know mums and dads and my nan and my pa are struggling to be able to make ends meet. So we all want to do the right thing, but there's no use in saying let's double the amount you can get from 30 days to 60 days if we don't even have 30 days in stock.
How much of this, though, is pharmacists worried about cuts to their dispensing fees every time they administer prescriptions?
Of course, we don't shy away from that. This is there's no new money in this initiative for local pharmacy. It's $170,000.
And some people would say, well, this is where you're coming from, because pharmacists are about to get a haircut as a result of this.
It's both. It's both. These aren't mutually exclusive things, Michael, right? So this is a $170,000 cut to your local community pharmacy. It means we're going to struggle to open in nights and weekends and do all those other things when no one else is available. Remember, there are 332 towns where there's no GP in Australia, but there is a community pharmacy. So we're not shying away from that. That is an absolute fact. You've hit the nail on the head. But it also doesn't take away from the fact that we've got more medicine outages in Australia than we've ever had in the history of the pharmaceutical benefit scheme. So, the government needs to stop worrying about a glossy announcement, this morning about a pre-budget promise about how we're going to help with the cost of living. And it needs to get the basics right first, which is making sure that everyone can at least get one box.